XRP fixes a problem with the world and banks that is worth trillions of dollars. We're going to talk about XRP, Visa, and Ripple in more depth. We will also talk about Ripple's system and how it all works. A lot of very useful information will be shared. Let's get this started. Ripple's software and transfers are meant to be the foundation for the new financial system settlement infrastructure. Let me play this so we can see how it works. At the very top of the payment stack are application layers that include PayPal, Stripe, and Square. These are technologies and apps that connect buyers and sellers who want to make a big purchase. After that are banks, which are the places where the valuables are kept. From there, we can see the basic infrastructure between banks, the rules for business continuity, safety, and health, and following the rules set by regulators. Following that are the rules for messages, which lets us think about SWIFT codes, ACE payment messages, Visa messages, and finally, a settlement system that is mostly run by central banks in the United States and correspondent banks around the world. That's where Ripple fits in right now. And the current payments are at the bottom. Okay, banks move money around the world using a method that is 50 years old. It takes too long, costs too much, and doesn't work. It's bad for everyone, because smaller banks have to pay bigger banks to use those lines. This is bad for both the customer and the business. The only ones who do well are the big banks like Chase, HSBC, and Citibank, because they move so much money, smaller banks ask them to help them with some of the stranger lines. Also, we have this great picture. Even though this is an older picture, it fits with what we're talking about now. You can see a lot of different currencies, like the Japanese yen, the US dollar, the British pound, and the Chinese yuan. I think it's called CNY, but I could be wrong. Don't shoot me. What about the Brazil and real? There are a lot of different currencies. They also need a payment asset in order for all of this to happen. Okay, once you say that the US dollar is not the world's main currency, what are you going to use instead? But there are BRICS from places like Brazil, Russia, India, China, and South Africa. They don't trust each other's money very much. Right now, if you look at the world, you can see what's going on in China, just in Brazil or Russia. These money pieces don't have much value, right? They also change a lot. You also don't want your balance to change a lot if you are keeping these assets. That's why you need something that will keep its value at a higher price. And this is where we think XRP will end up. Let's play this. Since Visa and Ripple work together, why do you always get the sense that leaders are talking about Ripple, the best software company for sending money across borders? Let's play this. Next is a picture that I will show you soon. Every time a mid-tier bank makes a cross-border payment, it costs them about $25 to $30 in order to get it at that price. You probably have a few lanes where you only pay a few dollars per payment, but then you have 20% of your payments where you pay $200 to $300 per payment. And a lot of banks don't see this. Right there is where you should start if you want to make a big difference in your business. You can also lower the amount of marginal cost. In this case, it would be an easy win. Where did Ripple start from? Right? They got good at making payments, then they went to these strange routes in countries where it's harder to get money in and out, and they built all the halls. It covers about 90% of the FX market right now. They're there. The most important thing is that they can use these lines. One of those relationships I was just telling you about is Navati. Thailand says it wants to join BRICS Alliance, which includes the Navati Group, a top fintech company that helps businesses pay and get paid. I've already teamed up with Ripple to grow into Thailand. So let's just look at the most important parts of this. We're now working together with Ripple in Thailand. I won't tell you everything about it. The relationship between Navati and Ripple has now grown to include Thailand and is making an income. It builds on the success of Navati's use of Ripple's Nets on Demand funding service for sending money between Australia and the Philippines in April of this year. Again, this shows that Navati is able to make money off of the existing environment in new markets. There are currently talks going on to open up more markets in Southeast Asia. We'd like to hear that. There's also a great clip from Brad Garlinghouse. Let me play this. Alex Kopp, thanks for putting this up. One of the first banks Ripple signed with. So we're putting out version 4 of a product on the market today. When we released version 1.0, which is always a big deal for tech companies, it was version 1.0. We put that offering on the market and went live with the help of one of the biggest banks in the Middle East. A banker from the Middle East called us and was very angry. He said, wait a minute, people can see my transactions. Folks shouldn't be able to see my deals. To sum up, blockchain is strong, and a public record can be used to complete deals. But banks would people be excited if every SCB transaction was recorded in a public book? I can tell you for sure that the answer is no, because of how our technology has changed. Over time, XRP is a public open record. A different part of Ripple's technology links banks to liquidity solutions. These are private, like a private temporary blockchain between two banks, and sign the transaction cryptographically, keeping a trust and letting it go at the same time. That way there is never a time when a deal doesn't go through. But my point is that people who believe in this idea of, well, hold on really quickly. Just to give you some background, Brad just said that because about 3 to 5% of all foreign payments fail. Most of the time, payments fail. And this cost adds up to billions of dollars a year for banks. And that's what Brad just said about how to solve that problem. That doesn't happen ever. The cash always goes through. To give you some background, everything should be open for business. When I see that, I think that's not real life. One of the ideas behind the creation of Bitcoin and some other tokens was the thought that people would avoid governments and not want them to get involved. We're going to get around banks. Look at Ripple. From our point of view, it's the exact opposite. In other words, governments aren't going away. Banks are for sure not going away. Banks can help make the internet a place of value. If you want to make the internet useful, it's important to link the value stores. Banks are where valuable things are kept. You name it, banks, financial institutions, payment companies, Pay, PayPal, or someone else. We want to work with them to greatly speed up the way payments are made today and lower that friction and making that pressure less. You need to work with banks and central banks if you want to be the biggest player in blockchain in the world, right? There's lots of money there. Let's tell the truth. The BlackRock, Fidelity, Invesco, and Venix of the world. A lot of people have their money there. And if you can make these solutions so that central banks and banks can use them for a lot less money then. They do now. Do you think they'll want to use that technology? Or do you think they'll say, yeah, I like paying way too much for these payments and waiting a few days for them to settle, okay? Because blockchain will cost too much for Swift. They have to speed up everything they do. Okay, it looks like Swift is going to something like settlement T+1. They're trying to get it down to the same day. They do some same-day payouts, but the best way to get paid is right away. And Swift still costs a lot of money. Locked Barbie shared this, and this is how the XRP chart looked in 2012, 2016, and 2020. Now, but I think the court case has taken away a lot of the good things that people in the community have said about Ripple and XRP, and I think we've been waiting for years and years and years, and it makes me sick that the SEC goes after Ripple but not Ethereum, right? I don't like how they feel about Ethereum getting away with things. Give your okay to the Ethereum ETF. The reason why this Ripple case is still going on, it makes me so angry. If you don't like it or have something to say about it, please leave a review. I enjoy hearing them. Swiss central bank is going to buy Bitcoin. This is a huge deal. What we want to get to is a situation where a central bank buys a cryptocurrency just to hold on to it. Think about how much power the average customer has when they shop. Think about how much the Swiss central bank can buy. I think they have a lot, just like every other central bank in the world. Imagine if they added Bitcoin or XRP. That's what I was going to say, Solana. Think about what will happen when they start putting these things in baskets. We want that. We want that. We want the banks and want to take them over, right? Or the government. That's how everyone in this place gets rich. That is what we want to do. Let me play this. Switzerland is the world's most advanced country when it comes to crypto. The Swiss people also want the central bank to buy Bitcoin and add it to the country's books. What the hell do they want that? Having Bitcoin on your balance sheet as a central bank gives you control over your money so you don't have to count on anyone else. The world's superpowers and their currency should tell you how to run your business and money policy. This is a great idea. The Swiss National Bank would make a lot of money for the people of Switzerland if they actually added Bitcoin to their books. It's hard for me to talk sometimes even though I speak English. That guy did a great job getting all that information across. After reading this, please tell me what you think about the Swiss central bank buying Bitcoin. Do you think that XRP will be on that list? The fact that US banks are worried as the need for fast payments rises shows a red compass lapse. This is just my 2 cents. Instant